after a 2021 case in Kentucky where a man was believed to be brain dead from an overdose, but doctors were wrong. And the organ harvesting surgery was called off moments before he was taken off life support after a physician noticed the man moving and moaning while being taken to an operating room. Hi, everybody. We're here with our fan favorite, Jimmy Dore Show fans favorite. Kim Bright is with us. She's the pioneer in the nutrition industry, expert in health and wellness, and the founder of Brightcore Nutrition, now in its 27th year. Since the 80s, she's been appearing regularly on nationally syndicated and local radio television programs, educating people on how to optimize their health. Welcome back to the show, Kim Bright, who's also a sponsor for the show. Thanks for supporting us. How you doing, Kim?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me back.
I wanted to talk about this story because this is a crazy story. So this is from News Nation. RFK Jr. to reform organ donation system after a federal investigation. What? They did a federal investigation of the organ donation system? I wonder what they found. Well, federal health, they investigated operations at Kentucky nonprofit. 73 patients had neurological signs incompatible with organ donation. So that what that sounds to me like, hey, they're not dead. That's what it sounds like to me.
You got that right. And they looked at 351 cases, Jimmy, and then more than 28 patients weren't dead before the surgery began. They already started operating on them, and the people were opening their eyes and moving their hands. I mean, it's awful. I mean, these organ harvesters, they lurk over people in the hospital. They're kind of like vultures. And I think they've become very desensitized. They're like robots, and so many doctors are telling people, well, let's just take their organs. They're never going to wake up. They're on machines, and, it's crazy.
And so RFK Jr. called the findings horrifying and is urging for systemic change. Here's a little more. Lawmakers are looking to reform the organ donation system after a government investigation revealed disturbing practices at a nonprofit in Kentucky. A probe into Louisville-based Network for Hope found that organs were nearly harvested from some donor patients who were showing signs of life and improvement. The Health Resources and Services Administration investigation was initiated last year after a 2021 case in Kentucky where a man was believed to be brain dead from an overdose, but doctors were wrong. And the organ harvesting surgery was called off moments before he was taken off life support after a physician noticed the man moving and moaning while being taken to an operating room, the New York Times reported. The HRSA investigation looked into 351 cases in which organ donation was authorized but never completed. It found that nearly 30% of the instances, that's 103 cases, had concerning features. I like to put concerning features. At least 28 patients may not have been dead when the surgery began, and 73 patients had neurological signs incompatible with organ donation. In fact, I think this is this a news report about that, Misha? Yes, let's play it.
A shocking case out of Richmond. A man was declared brain dead and was prepared to donate his organs, though hard to believe he was in fact alive.
36-year-old TJ Hoover had his life changed forever. On October 25th, 2021, he was admitted to Baptist Health Richmond's emergency room. He was experiencing cardiac arrest and was deemed code blue.
We were told TJ had no reflexes, no responses, no brain waves, no brain activity.
Because of that declaration, they decided to honor TJ's wishes as an organ donor.
We had his honor walk, but almost as soon as his honor walk started, his eyes started opening, and not just opening, he was tracking around looking to see, what was going on. And we were told that was just reflexes, just a normal instinct. He's not there.
But that wasn't the case. In fact, he wasn't dead. He was very much alive.
I feel like they were trying to choose my brother. They were going to sacrifice my brother's life to save how many ever other people.
Whoa. That is unbelievable. And so take it where you want, Kim.
Well, here's the thing. I saw another interview with a person from the organ donation company that was there going down the hallway where they do the walk of honor. And she's on the phone. She's telling the story. She said she was on the phone with her superintendent saying, look, the doctors are saying we're calling this off. The guy's woken up. And the supervisor says to her, find another doctor that'll take the organs. We need them. I mean, this is so desensitized. These people, what are these, NGOs? They're definitely profit motivated. I mean, you're viewed as an object, and there's money to be made when they can snag your organs out. You know, Big Pharma gets you first with all the drugs, and they're making money off you there, and then the surgeries. And then when you become an organ donor, boom, more money made. This is crazy. And this is very, I'm so glad RFK Jr. is investigating this, because you know, this is really bad. And we got to take care of our organs, Jimmy, not so we can donate them, but to live longer and healthier. And if anybody's being an organ donor, I mean, in the beginning, it sounds good, like you're going to help somebody when you die. But this whole area's got to be revamped, because it's getting close to what they do in China. And China is a whole nother story. It's very bad over there.
So, what's your so should we move on to this antibody mediated by you want to move on to this next story, or should you just tell us what we should do to take care of our organs?
No, I want to talk about this too. This is so bizarre. This is the next frontier for the mRNA. Is now they're going to heal your damaged organs that they've damaged by you taking these vaccinations that target your mitochondria or the cellular membrane, like after COVID-19. This guy, who was perfectly healthy, 47-year-old, he developed progressive jaundice after 2 weeks after his third COVID-19 vaccination. Now, what happened with this? He had bile duct injury, loss in the liver of its function, proper function. He got jaundice from the backup of the bilirubin, which is the red blood cells breaking down. They turn this yellow stuff, and then it makes your white of your eyes is yellow, the skin is yellow. So he had the elevated bilirubin. He had tremendous inflammation. He started getting deteriorating kidneys. His pancreas started being disabled. He wasn't making enough digestive enzymes. And then they had to use these methodologies to bring him out of this. Corticosteroids. Now, these things, they reduce the inflammation fast by suppressing the immune system. And they also use them after the organ transplants. But then you've got increased risk of bacterial, fungal, viral infections, and causing spikes in blood sugar. So this poor guy, he took the COVID shots, 3 of them. Then it's destroying all these organs. And then now they have to do all of this mediation to get in there so he can try and be normal again. But you know what, Jimmy, no matter how much they try to tell us health's found in a vaccine, I'm sorry, it's not. True health really is in our bodies being in biological balance. And that really starts in our core, in our gut, with the balance of good and bad bacteria in our gut microbiome. And we've got to look at, these chronic diseases that everybody runs to the doctor for, like metabolic diseases, heart disease, diabetes, obesity, skin conditions, eczema for one, arthritis, respiratory disease, cognitive decline, anxiety, depression, all can be pulled back and tied into your gut flora. So, the gut is the premier thing that we have to take care of in order not to need organ transplants, in order to not go through all of this stuff, getting on the drugs and the surgeries. And so paying attention to our gut, that's where our health starts. And all of these diseases start there if you don't take care of it right. But, that's what we've got to do.
So, so you're saying that, so the title of this is Recovery from Antibody-Mediated Biliary Ductopenia and Multi-Organ Inflammation after the COVID-19 vaccination. And so they talk about it here. And and just what you just said, this guy had his third shot and he got progressive jaundice 2 weeks after receiving his third COVID-19 vaccination. And so what do they recommend for recovery from antibody-mediated and multi-organ inflammation after a COVID-19 vac? What do you recommend? I mean, Bobby Kennedy.
Well, they recommended the corticosteroids, but then they also changed out his plasma. They had to use the machinery that pulls the blood out. Then they separate the white and the red blood cells and the plasma out and the different fluids. Then they put fluid back in and re-inject that into him. That's the Western medical approach. But what I recommend is taking care of your gut so you don't have to go through this. Don't get the jabs. Stay healthy so your own immune system is strong and you don't need this kind of stuff. And, I don't know if you saw this, but, RFK was on Fox and Friends talking about his diet and taking care of his gut. And I thought it was great.
I actually have it. Let me play it here.
Oh, you do? Great.
Here it is.
Mainly meat and then fermented vegetable, anything fermented. So a lot of kimchi and all kinds of fermented vegetables. And it's really, I would say it's dramatically changed my, everything.
So he's eaten protein and fermented vegetables, and he just said kimchi, right?
Mainly meat and then fermented vegetable, anything fermented. So a lot of kimchi and all kinds of fermented vegetables. And it's really, I would say it's dramatically changed my, everything.
So I've been taking what he just said, the kimchi. Now I take that every day. I take these 3 capsules. So I don't like the way kimchi tastes. So I take these capsules. And now that is supposed to help with, most people have leaky guts and the microbiome. It helps build up all the good type of bacteria, right? That's what we're talking about.
That's right. And, the carnivore diet, so many people are trying that. And it must be combined, Jimmy, with fermented vegetables. But if you're eating something like sauerkraut or dill pickles, don't expect to get the same benefits as if you're eating kimchi because of what you're talking about. The science that's behind the benefits of kimchi is those over 900 strains of probiotics that aren't found anywhere else in any other fermented foods. And the presence of other ingredients during this fermentation process, that's what creates the wider diversity of the beneficial bacteria species. So kimchi is known as the king of fermented foods. And I was so excited to hear RFK Jr., he loves kimchi. And like you said, so many people can't handle the taste or the smell of it. And so that's why you have capsules now to take every day. That's why we created Kimchi One.
So tell me if I'm imagining this. So does kimchi, so you talk about how your gut health that's where everything starts, your flora. And so now I obviously know, so I'm taking kimchi, so my digestion's a lot better. My regularity, as they say, which is important to anybody over 40. I have to think about that every day. But would it also, so I have eczema, psoriasis on my scalp all the time, and I've noticed a reduction, right? So I used to have it right here. I used to have bumps right here. They're gone.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is that, can you connect that to the kimchi?
Most definitely. You've got a direct connection from your gut up to your head and to your brain, and you've got a direct connection to your skin. And that's part of your skin. Your skin's your largest organ. And so the gut and brain connection, the gut-skin connection, that's why I said things like eczema and other skin conditions clear up. Because when your gut is happy and it's in balance and it's got all the good guys and not the bad guys, the fungus, the bacteria, the bad bacteria, the viruses, the parasites, so many people have so many skin conditions because their gut is filled with all these bad guys. And they don't eat the food that is going to correct that and put the balance back in. And kimchi is loaded with fiber, and that's what the good guys love, and that's called a prebiotic. So we're able to maintain that in drying the kimchi in a way that we do with a cold process, and it's made 100% in the USA, non-GMO. And here's the other thing, Jimmy, for people that want to eat kimchi but can't because they're on a sodium-free diet. Kimchi is very high in salt. And so when you make it fresh or you buy it in the store in the refrigerated sections, that's very high in sodium. So we took virtually all the sodium out of the capsules so people can have that if they have any problems with sodium.
So tell people we have a special offer for this. Is the kimchi I take. It's right here.
Oh, yeah. But Jimmy, before we do that, can I tell you?
Sure.
We've got so many success stories about Kimchi One. Like you said, digestion, bloating, people that had this gone away, immune system, they don't get sick anymore. They've struggled with obesity. Now they're losing weight. Their waistlines are coming in. Their pants they've got to get different size pants. And the other thing is we've got tons of people who are experiencing the symptoms of the post-vaccination syndrome after receiving the COVID vaccinations, the brain fog, the aches and pains all over that they can't pinpoint where these symptoms are coming from. They couldn't sleep, and they find relief after using the Kimchi One. So I just wanted to let people know that has been a big thing that people have been calling us about is they took the shot and they have all this stuff happening in their body and they didn't know what was causing it. And now they're taking the Kimchi One. It's gone.
So Steph actually has a friend who takes the kimchi since we've been talking about it on our show. Is Steph here? Oh, she's with we have a plumbing emergency and our plumber's here. But her friend, she was just telling me yesterday about her friend who swears by it now, that it's just like RFK just said, it changed everything for her. And so let's go ahead and tell people about your special deal, right?
Yeah, well, if they'll go to mybrightcore.com/door, again, that's mybrightcore.com/door. We're going to give you 25% off when you use the code DOOR. And the thing that I like people to do, Jimmy, is call in so we can talk directly to you. Call 888-253-0418 and make sure it's right for you. Make sure you feel comfortable using it and understand it and answer any questions. And by doing that, you're going to get up to 50% off your order and free shipping when you call in. So call 888-253-0418 and be one of the first 100 callers. And we're going to also throw in a free bottle of vitamin D3.
So, Steph, weren't you? Steph is back. Weren't you telling me that your friend is taking?
Oh yeah.
So,
one of our viewers on the show, she texted me and she said that I'm taking the kimchi, and she had suffered from like real problems with her gut. She didn't go into detail, nor did I care. I didn't want to hear it and she's been taking the kimchi, and it's been working for her. She loves it.
Awesome.
So there you have it. All right. Well, I'm a big fan of the kimchi. Our viewers are a big fan of the kimchi, and everyone's a big fan of Kim Bright. Kim, I appreciate you coming on. Everybody should take advantage of this offer. Thank you again, as always, for supporting our show. You know, you never know when the rug is going to get pulled out from underneath us economically by YouTube or wherever else, and who's going to debank us. But I appreciate you making sure our show is going to be viable, and by supporting it. So thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. And thank you for what you do and telling the truth. You know, we need you.
Oh, my pleasure. All right. Come see us on tour in Rutherford, New Jersey, New York, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Appleton, Wisconsin, Rosemont, Chicago, Louisville, Kentucky, and Fort Wayne, Indiana. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.